Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how I modify the cooling system in this MacBook Pro 2012 to get the best performance. So as you see, I placed multiple heat spreaders and thermal pads inside of the machine. You can also see that I don't fully disassemble, I don't detach those cables here because I'm lazy. I don't want to touch everything that doesn't need to be touched. And here I use different sizes of thermal heat spreaders, metal heat spreaders. There's a small one here, two huge one here. Here I use 1.5 millimeters thermal pads, and here 3 millimeters. Here's another 1.5. So they're not perfectly even if you look from the side, but they will get compressed. And this will compress on the back of the keyboard, so they're not gonna be super effective actually. It's not like this is like plastic thin fin, so it's not going to be like a huge improvement because of the thermal pads, but the heat spreaders will still do the job and still spread the heat in the internal air. And the most important part is going to be happening in there and back there, back when the heat spreader is contacting the metal top. So I completely washed this area from the residues of plastic. Completely wash the top of the heat spreader here, exposing the copper. The heat spreader is slightly modified. It's been thinned a little bit. It's been I like fined the top, the fins here to make it even, and I slightly cut on the side. You can see here to perfectly fit inside here. And apparently it still needs some little bit of fining because it doesn't really flush perfectly here. So let's modify it still a little bit more. Here we go, much better profile now. And it's now fitting properly here. Thermal paste is applied on top of the fins. Here's how it looks. Now this will need some cuts in the back of the machine, in the back of the case grill. You can see what's going to happen, and they're gone. I will also need to rebuild the subwoofer here. I will use some plastic and glue. Now to keep the heat spreader here pressed, I cleaned up this area on the fan, applied the two thermal pads here, as you can see. Okay, system is on. Let's start Cinebench R15. It should do around 300 points, 290. The system is a old Mojave installation, many years old. No real debloating done other than some basic stuff from the background. And yeah, back then I wasn't doing that much. And we're on auto profile, and you see that the fan is not even kicking in. Like it's 2000, which is probably the minimum. We're reaching 80 degrees, but that's normal. I mean, this machine usually like that's 100 degrees as soon as you fire Cinebench, the fan starts going like crazy. And here we're just sitting at in the 80s with the fan doing nothing. 2000, which is the minimum RPM for this fan. That is just incredible. I don't know if we're gonna get the 300 points. We'll see. We're currently reaching 93 degrees. The keyboard is heating up here, so the thermal pads are doing stuff. This area of course is blazing hot, but yeah, let's get it finished. I'm not used to this kind of slow Cinebench nowadays. We got to 100 degrees and the fan started kicking at the end of the test. Again, this is the i7 version, and I think it's basically double the power of the i5 one. This CPU is probably 291. I think the best we can get with this one is 292. Maybe you can reach 300 with the massive debloating of the system. And yeah, the fans just started kicking in at the very end of the test. It's now spinning even though we reached 74 degrees. That's some kind of hysteresis. But yeah, the heating is great. The cooling system is great, and yeah. And we're currently sitting in the Italian summer, Italian heat wave. So yeah, that's an amazing result. And that is all for the video. Ciao!